Ousmane Sonko, the Prime Minister of Senegal, is in Mali. Now, he arrived there yesterday. He went there from Rwanda direct to Mali after he attended the inauguration of the fifth term of Paul Kagame. Now, he has met his counterpart, the Prime Minister of Mali, and also the President of Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta. Now, he delivered a speech in both cases when he met one-to-one to them. So let us listen to his speech, and I'll just quickly reflect.
It is an honor and a pleasure to be here to be able to renew our attachment to this Malian land, to present our greetings and also to show solidarity with the Malian people for this fight that they are leading. A legitimate fight for their sovereignty, and also a fight against this very cowardly phenomenon that we call terrorism. And I assure you that nothing that could destabilize Mali will come from Senegal, in any case, not in our region.
Hey, why does it seem so hard to sell your services?
Ecowas and the recently launched Confederation of the Alliance of Sahel. And I assure you that nothing that could destabilize Mali will come from Senegal, in any case, not in our region. And on the ongoing crisis between Ecowas and the recently launched Confederation, not in our region. A legitimate fight for their sovereignty, and also a fight against this very cowardly phenomenon that we call terrorism. And I assure you that nothing that could destabilize Mali will come from Senegal, in any case, not in our region.
Okay, so pay attention. He said nothing that will destabilize Mali will come from Senegal, and I assure you that's what he said. Okay. That's really a big thing to say. Now let us continue to listen.
And on the ongoing crisis between Ecowas and the recently launched Confederation of the Alliance of Sahel States, Sonko had this brief remark to make. Ecowas has very poorly managed these considerations, and if it was our regime that was in power at the time when this was happening, we would have firmly vetoed it, and there would never have been an embargo against Mali coming from Senegal. Then from the Prime Minister's office, Ousmane Sonko headed to the presidential palace at Koulouba, where he met Transitional President Colonel Assimi Goïta, and personally delivered Senegal's condolences to the Malian authorities following the July 25 to July 27, 2024 Tinzawatan attack that left a number of Malian soldiers and Wagner fighters dead.
So now he's in the president's office, and this is what he delivered. It's really important. No, I mean, listen, this is Ousmane Sonko. Diomaye Faye is totally, he's a president. I just want you to really listen and watch between the lines and the words between these two people, the prime minister and the president. And yeah, let's continue what he has to say to the president.
And in the media briefing that he held at the palace some moments after their discussions that also touched on strengthening cooperation links between Mali and Senegal, particularly in the political and economic fields, this is what he had to say. Allow me to bow in memory of all our Malian brothers who fell on the field of honor a few days ago. Which I present on behalf of President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, on my behalf, on behalf of the government and on behalf of all the Senegalese people who reiterated our most sincere and saddened condolences. As I said, Mali and Senegal are one and the same people. We share so many things that we cannot list them here. That is why when such an event occurs in Mali, it is as if it had occurred in Senegal. I presented to the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Assimi Goïta, all our condolences. I thank the Malian people for their welcome today through the Prime Minister, His Excellency Choguel Kakala Maiga, the gentleman who welcomed us very well since we got off the plane with almost the entire government, and allowed us to have a working session before being received today by the President of the Republic. This interview with the President was very informative. It allowed us to review all the current issues to discuss in an open manner, not in a formal or solemn manner but as brothers, because as I said, when I come here, I am at home and I come to speak to brothers. We spoke without filter, as they say, to discuss the major issues of the day both at the national level in Senegal and in Mali, as well as in the much broader framework of what is happening in the sub-region and in the world. So I particularly want to be satisfied with this meeting, which has allowed us, and I believe, as we have always done between Senegal and Mali, to better bring our positions closer together. Mr. Prime Minister, public opinion thinks that you are increasingly changing your discourse towards the countries of the AES. Are you maintaining your Pan-Africanist discourse? You know, if there is something that we must...
Wow. I mean, I'm in awe with that question. Let's repeat it. What a question.
Towards the countries of the AES, are you maintaining your Pan-Africanist discourse? You know, if there is something that we must avoid, it is putting emotions at the forefront of everything. The issues that we manage are extremely serious issues. I will never be criticized. They will never release a single statement that I made before that differs from the statements that I made today. Our position has been very clear from the beginning. When we began to take a position on these issues, there was not yet the AES. There was only what happened in each of the countries today considered to be members of the AES. When it happened in Mali, we were the first as opponents to denounce it. And we continue to firmly denounce the embargo that was imposed on Mali by brother countries, and unfortunately among which our own country participated. I had denounced it on behalf of my party. I continue to denounce it, and as I said, under our regime, this kind of practice will never be able to prosper, and no one will go from Senegal to either destabilize Mali or our brother country, or impose sanctions of this nature on it. That has not changed. It will not change. When it came to an intervention in Niger, my position was very clear. In my prison cell, I had made a publication to denounce this and warn the heads of state of Ecowas. This has not changed today. The AES came afterwards, and no one will give a single speech where I, as president of my opposition party at the time, said that we would join this or that organization. We must stop these amalgamations. We have never taken a position to say that Senegal will join this or that organization. That is the first thing. We are all sovereign countries. We respect each other. We must respect each other in our sovereign choices. And we respect Mali in its choices. We respect Burkina in its choices. We respect everyone. Choices that we understand, since we have always said, and I recalled it well after being Prime Minister, that many meetings were committed by the heads of state of Ecowas, and that often we were much more interested in the symptoms than in the real causes that led us to this. That has not changed in our country. So, what we are being criticized for is having or being in the process of working to continue to reunite the family. Since when can we blame a Pan-Africanist for doing everything so that we remain within solid frameworks rather than dividing us? This is what we are being criticized for, and therefore it means that we have changed, and I said that whatever the outcome or the choice that was made, it will change absolutely nothing in our relations with each of the countries and the frameworks that will be put in place. On the contrary, it could even strengthen them. We must put emotions aside and work on the basis of concrete concerns if we call ourselves Pan-Africanists. Every Pan-Africanist must have one and only objective: to bring Africans together beyond our differences. I said it earlier with the Prime Minister, Europeans fought world wars that cost millions of lives, but found themselves together again afterwards. So whatever our differences, let us try as our ancestors did, to create the Mali Empire that extended from here to Senegal, Ghana and everywhere. We cannot do less than them. And that is our concern. But if a sovereign country like Mali considers that the mistakes
I really want to repeat that.
Mali Empire that extended from here to Senegal, Ghana and everywhere, we cannot do less than them. And that is our concern. But if a sovereign country like Mali considers that the mistakes that have been made justify its departure, we respect this sovereignty, and that will change absolutely nothing in our relations, which are secular and fraternal relations. What message are you leaving with from the President today? The President was very open. We had a very frank, very fraternal discussion. And I appreciate all the recommendations he had to formulate, because he wishes the best for Senegal, which is a brother country. So the alerts on this phenomenon of terrorism and its evolution, the recommendations he gave, and above all, we are on the same wavelength between Senegal and Mali. The external considerations required for this relationship cannot impact this relationship. We will remain united in accordance with our geographical, historical, economic, social and even societal realities, which require us to be two very united countries, and to continue to cooperate in all areas, and that is extremely important. At least we come out of here with the certainty that we have exactly the same understanding of what our relations should be. Because of that, I thank them very much, and I thank all the Malian people.
Well, quite, kind of skeptical what to call it, but he made it clear, first of all, the highlight for me, that he said, okay, we all have to respect, in quotations, that's what he said, our sovereignty, the sovereign countries. I struggle to take heads of states, leaders, in this case, Pan-African, supposedly, for Ousmane Sonko, to take them for granted Pan-African when they speak of individual sovereignty, because this is the very cause that divided the Organization of African Unity, not to reach that political unity at that moment in 1963, because there were heads of states that wanted to hide in their little sovereignty cocoon so that they can exercise power as they want, what they learned from the colonial power when they used to be colonized. So it was only Kwame Nkrumah under Ghana, under the leadership of Kwame Nkrumah, who was ready to do that. And even I doubt if Kwame Nkrumah had all the support from his people, as he has opposition, and that led for his removal at the end. Okay, so that is the highlight. I'm kind of disappointed. He said two big statements. One is that there is nothing that destabilize Mali or that destabilize the region will come from us. That's what he said, meaning from Senegal. He said we are brothers and sisters. I feel at home. this and that. But he said, thank you for the recommendation, he said to the president of Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta. I wonder what kind of recommendation he gave him, although I can suspect or speculate. Yeah, so... but it's good. It's like an icebreaker, that tension that's going on between Senegal and AES or AES. It's good that I'm very, very happy. I kind of relieved that Ousmane Sonko arrived in Mali. Really, I was so happy when I break the news last night to you, and when I read it, and like, you know, with no preparation, I just came, you know, jumped to be live. Yeah, so let us know in the comment section, what do you think? But the good news is that I have an activist or analyst also of the politics of Senegal from the diaspora. He has been here at Connect Africa before, so at 10 p.m. Central European time, tune in, and he will analyze it for us. There is no question will be left without asking him. So drop your questions in the comment section or as you tune live here in the chat section. But before I leave, a quick shout out to the Juma Boutique, Osie Ekwam. How are you all, Yoruba land, my brothers from Niger, all West Africa, and I have CNS as well. Patricia, greetings, my sister, in the middle of my brothers. Good to see you here. Evolving out loud. Thank you. I hope this is also a sister, and many of you that I don't see you here in the chat section. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please share the video, and it's already scheduled, and you can share the video for later, the 10 p.m. one. It is exactly in 2 hours time from now. Tune in again, and we will listen. We will ask this analyst from Senegal, and hear what we have to say. We will discuss. Please give like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that so far, and share the video with others, and please support us in our through our PayPal account. That will help us to be here more often. Thank you, and I will see you again. And of course, the 9 p.m. in 1 hour, we will have another session as well, a live stream with Kwame Konza, hopefully. So bye until then.